See my hands? They look clean to you, do they not? But they are dirty. They're filthy with the blood of an innocent man. I have washed them raw, but still I see the stains. The stains of my sin of helping torture a man to death. I was there, you see. Worse, I was part of it. I followed as this man tried to carry his method of execution up a mountain, bruised and whipped raw, a crown of thorns digging into his flesh, his cloak soaked in his own blood. I prevented people from trying to help, but I did not stop those who cursed at him, slapped him, even spat upon him, as long as they did not stop him from moving forward. When he collapsed, unable to continue, I helped seize a man from the crowd to help the one they called Jesus to carry his cross. I didn't care about him. I just wanted to get this over with. As we continued to push him and the other criminals forward, I heard whispers in the crowd that this Jesus claimed to be the Son of God. I shook my head at the idiocy. If he was the Son of God, could he not end this himself? I thought perhaps this man did deserve to die to make such a claim. But the most astonishing thing, he didn't cry. He didn't scream for help or for mercy. Oh, his eyes were filled with pain, yes, but a determination as well, as though this was something that he had to do. Why be so determined to die in any manner, let alone crucifixion? I didn't understand this man at all. When we reached the top of Golgotha, I laid the criminals down upon their crosses. I took out my hammer and my nails to pound them into Jesus' hands. But before I swung my first blow, he turned his head and looked at me. With my hammer and the nail, I met his eyes, and I froze. Still, I saw the pain and determination, but I saw other things as well. Sadness and compassion, forgiveness even. I knew they were meant for me. Choking back a groan, I tore my eyes and forced the hammer down. With each blow, Jesus stiffened but made no sound. The other two criminals, however, screamed and writhed, making their nailings more painful and difficult. By the time I finished, my stomach writhed, just like the two criminals, and with every ounce of will, I succeeded in not getting sick. The screams only increased when we raised the crosses, only this time, not just the criminals, but from the crowd. Some were cries of despair, but most were cheers of joy. To my shock, Jesus responded by turning his gaze to the sky and said, "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do." The crowd silenced, but only for a moment, before they resumed their insults with even more fervor. My compatriots sat below Jesus' cross and cast lots for his garments. I didn't participate. I was too interested in the crowd. It made me nervous. It continued to grow, and people continued to hurl curses and insults at Jesus. Many screamed, "You who are going to destroy the temple and build it again in 3 days, save yourself, come down off the cross if you are the Son of God." Some of the Jewish teachers mocked him, saying things like, "He saved others, yet he cannot even save himself." Jesus didn't respond. One of the criminals on the cross added his own insults, but the other said, "Don't you fear God? You are under the same sentence, but we are being punished justly for our doings. Yet this man has done nothing wrong." "Jesus," he added, "remember me when you come into your kingdom." With the same expression that he had given me, Jesus looked at him and said, "I tell you the truth. Today, you shall be with me in paradise." An ominous and eerie silence covered the land, and even the crowd silenced. It was as if the entire world had simply stopped. The sky darkened as if the sun had just disappeared. The temperature dropped so low I could see my own breath, and I shivered with cold and terror. Jesus stiffened and called out in a voice so strong I wanted to cover my ears, my God, why have you forsaken me?" The man stepped forward with a sponge of vinegar, but none of us tried to stop him. Others yelled, "Leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to save him." Jesus cried out one more time, "It is finished," and died. A rending sound came from deep within the ground, and not a second later the earth shook with such force, rocks split in two and drove many to their hands and their knees, myself included. I glanced up at Jesus and said, "Surely this man was the Son of God." They say Jesus died for a singular purpose, that all our sins are now forgiven so that we may never know death ourselves. I want to believe that more than anything. But how can I forgive myself? To no longer see my hands stained with his blood.